Do you ever get tired of poking the little tiny pieces out of your detailed die cuts? If so, watch along with today's video. I have several tips to share that make it so quick and easy to remove those little pieces from your die cuts. One of these tips I've shared before, one I have never shared before. Think you're going to love it. Let's take a look. I'm Anna Helman. I appreciate you being here. Let's get started. Here's one of those detailed die sets with all of the intricate little pieces that really can take some time to punch out. It's called Artistic is the name of the set. I made this cute little sign with it, with a sign from the dollar store. And here you can see two of the really detailed die cuts that it creates. So what we do when we don't know any better to remove those little pieces from our die cuts after we've created them, we get our piercing tool and we start poking them out, right? But this can really take some time on some of these sets, and there are easier ways. So what are they? Now this is the one I've shared before. This is my, there's a die, so this tool I just showed, this is the take your pick tool. I love this tool. I use it for everything under the sun. It's got a sticky end I use to put gems on my projects and pick up little pieces I can't pick up. We have a piercing tool, we have a spatula tip, and it's got a stylus for scoring. We've got all kinds of things we can do with this. But comes also with a brush tip. So what I can do is need to remove this end. I pulled the wrong one out there. And I can put this in where my little sticky end was. Now I have a brush. It comes with this piece of foam. When using this, I heard from several of you last time that have said you've always used this thing wrong. So let me show you how to use it right. Now, it's easiest to do this if you never take your die out of you don't take the paper out of the die cut. But if it does come out, if you take it out or if it falls out, just put it back in. This one's a little unruly, so I'll just work on the top part here. That is where it's supposed to be under the die. And all you do is roll the brush over several times, several ways. And when you lift it up, most of those pieces will have fallen out. So when you use it, you are to have the die on top. It works a lot better that way. Okay, so that is one way to remove those little pieces, but this other way that I want to show you is a pretty neat trick that I think could really help some of you. So I am going to bring in my plates from my cut and emboss machine, and we'll show you this right here. Now, here's where I cut the one before we started, and I want to show you what this right here is. Okay, this is actually a dryer sheet. So if you try this, you will need to play around with how thick your dryer sheet layers need to be. Now, I played around. My machine cuts really, really well. I love my cut and emboss machine from Stampin' Up. I've had it for years, and I only have to run things through one time to get them to cut. One time. Rarely do I have to run something through a second time. So it has a really tight fit. And for mine, I just need to double these up. So I opened it up, I folded it in half, and I laid it on my plate here. Now I left this one in place to show you, you can reuse these. You can use them several times if you want to. So I am going to lay my cardstock back on top here. We'll get the die put in place where I want it, get my top plate on. Let's bring the machine in here. And we'll crank this through. I love this machine for a lot of reasons. That the sides fold up, which is really great. It means it takes up less space on my work surface. It's easier to carry different places. If you haven't seen this, I'll show you right here. So the sides fold up, and then it's like a cute little purse, we'll call it. It's kind of like a cute little big purse, but that's okay. So now I'll lift that off, and what I want to do is lift up just a little bit of the of the paper. Now you may want to use your piercing tool for this. Got my other piercing tool here, I'll grab it. And as you're doing this, you want to leave the dryer sheet in place as you grab some of that paper. And what I found is if my sandwich was too thick, it will have cut all the way through the dryer sheet, and I do not want that. If you've cut all the way through your dryer sheet, and when you start to pull this off, that entire piece of dryer sheet comes right with it. Try it again and use a little bit less thickness. So maybe only use one piece of dryer sheet, or if you use 3, maybe try 2. But you just want to be removing the paper. And as you pull it, can you see this? This is pretty amazing. Lift it up, and all or almost all of those pieces are left in place. Now, as I'm watching this, I'm looking at this like, that's a really cool design. You know what we need to do with this? Because we cannot lose opportunities. We can't miss opportunities for being creative, right? I'm thinking like, trim the edges off of this and attach this onto something. It might need, I think most of those pieces would stay in place, but you could even play around with using your scraps here on a project, because that's pretty cool looking, right? So I hope these tips help you. If you enjoy card making tips and tricks, click on the name of my channel right below. You will go to my main channel page. Right there at the top is my card making tips and tricks playlist. You can watch tips and tricks all day long. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you have a blessed day. And I hope you'll be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to hand make with love.